Good evening again to wherever you are in the world, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's Friday and RRC are very proud to present the FNR Friday Night Racing. We're back in 2021 already at round 2. Can you believe it? It has gone so fast already. We're pretty much up to on the Friday session. So we're going to see, we've had some action during the week, all the way through from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We took a bit of a break on Thursday, but now we're back and we are on the firing line to see what Friday night has in store for us. And if you did miss out last week on Friday Night Racing, you missed an absolute cracker of a race in Australia. So a big shame for that. And that's the reason why we're looking at the Red Bull. The Red Bull racing car that currently leads the Drivers' Championship. Relatively newcomer to Friday Night League, and he has literally grasped it. So well done to Shabs. That's the reason we're looking at his Red Bull right now. So last week, in case you missed it, so Shabs, Mono, and Puppy were top 3. We'll go through really quickly on the teams just to get you completely caught up on the championship positions. So we've got, it is the Bahrain Grand Prix tonight we're going to for round 2. We're going to start off really quickly going through the teams. So if we go through Red Bull really quickly, so Shab has mentioned, fantastic for him, very well done, winning the race, the maximum points. He's going to be wanting to extend on such an early part in the season. He's going to want to extend and get as many points as physically possible, not just for him, but obviously for the team as well. So congratulations to him as well, again. So RD Wee, his teammate, again, get more familiar with. Hopefully he can push it this year, obviously. So second race in, we're going to see now what the drive's all about. But this is when you want to start getting a comfortable position in the Drivers' Championship. So RD Wee, unfortunately, on no points. Well, lots of things looking through here. Missing out last week. I'm sure obviously he can help his Red Bull teammate out tonight. So if we go on to then, let's go on to Ferrari really quickly. So out of the Scuderia boys, you've got Gavlar and Jack Blum. So very good partnering with those two. Gavlar, and I'll tell you from Pre's experience on Wednesday, being behind Gavlar for pretty much the whole of Wednesday night's race. And thank you very much, obviously, for Ninja Penguin, though, for reaching out and supplying the comms. So very, very good. And I hope we put on an interesting race for you on Wednesday nights. So Gavlar and Jack Blum, the lineup. So Jack is going through the race. He's getting stronger and stronger. We're not seeing him on Wednesday. We still see him on a Friday. So it is good to see him and hopefully getting some more points today. On to Mercedes. Really quickly, we can find out. So you've got Super Steve and Anthony McNally. So Super Steve, my teammate on Wednesday Night Racing, he's really pulling the strings there. Already a win to his name on a Wednesday. So what can he? And he's going to be riding the wave, of course, winning the second round on Wednesday night as well. So he's going to be riding the wave. He's on the adrenaline. I've told him to keep the adrenaline going, keep it pumping. So hopefully he can turn a Wednesday into a Friday as well and get a race win under his belt in the Friday night league. His teammate tonight is going to be Anthony McNally, not a driver I'm particularly familiar with. I'll be keeping my eyes out for him though. So we've done Ferrari, we've gone to Red Bull, we've done Red Bull. We're going on to McLaren really quickly. So the driver playing McLaren, we've got the two puppies. So typical, they've been cut apart on a Wednesday, they're back together on the Friday, the puppies of Junior and Senior. And Puppy Junior has absolutely shot this year. He has been fantastic. End of last year, he was just getting stronger and stronger. And now he's up there racing with the top guys. And we're going to see how his McLaren fares tonight. But here again, Puppy Junior has been one to watch. As we go through the order, we've gone to Renault on queries about the time, so I will be trying to be fast as possible here. So we've got Ice Dreams and Durant. Durant unfortunately won't be taking part today. He has got a 5 point on his racing licence. So you've got Ice Dreams, very good midfield runner, constantly improving. He's your Mr. Sensible. This guy gets your points, and he's showing that at Renault. Cornelius, he's stepping in tonight. I'm unaware of him, so we're going to be keeping an eye on him as well. On to the Alfa Romeos. Oh, sorry, Alpha Tories, I should say. Thank you very much, Ronnie, for sending me an invite. Much appreciated, buddy. On to the Alphas. We have got, if I can find them, it's Mono and Tristan. So these two really need absolutely no introduction as far as driving's concerned. Both very, very capable of winning races. These two guys on top of their prime, and they're going to be firing it out in today is what we're expecting. On to the Pink Panther of Racing Points, Force India, whatever you want to call them for this year. We've got Ender. I'm not aware of, and Mr. Tumble. I did get called Mr. Tumble myself, so I'm going to be keeping out for these two. I'm not aware of either of the drivers, so I'm going to be keeping out for those. The Alfa Romeo, Charlie in Japan. This guy is going places. He really is. He started in Japan. He's going places, so to speak. And Jake Lee, relatively new comer, and he's scored his first points on Wednesday, so good luck to him. Again, one of my teammates on the Wednesday night version of this league. The Haas team on Tirach and Crovey. So Crovey, good result actually on Wednesday. He was up there on scoring some points, so his luck will rub off as well. Tirach, again, this guy's getting stronger midfield, but he gets your points. So he's the sort of driver that you want. And finally, on to Williams' team, last but not least, the Williams Racing teams of Tatton. He's going to be solo surfing today, Tatton. This guy again gets your points. He hasn't got a teammate by the looks of things. Stringy is stepping in for him. And, of course, we all know what Stringy is available of. Very, very cool, calm competitor. So we'll go live really quickly to the Bahrain track. The boys have been sending me some invites, so that's why I want to get in there quickly. Now, of course, so moving on, we are going to have a 50% race tonight around Bahrain. We've got qualifying coming up as well, before that to talk you through. So, extremely excited to see, and I think we are getting 19 drivers I think we're expecting tonight. Just to run through the prefix of the league. To be a short qualifying session for them by a 50% race. It will be on official timing, so you can see on there is a fixed car setup. Now this year, it wasn't in last year in FNR. But they're bringing it in this year, and it's really messing up it's actually making the drivers work for it. And that's what you really want to do at such a high level of motorsport, is actually make the drivers work. So I'm a big fan of that. Here, of course, the possibility of rain is very, very low, purely because of actually it's not in real life. So very, very less chance of it raining. And realistically, it's going to be a one-stop. So, of course, you will have an opportunity, really. These tyres will be burning off really, really fast, and the drivers will get a chance to come in as soon as possible. Of course, the danger is you want to push in those fast few laps. We're expecting pit stops from lap 4 onwards. So, a relatively short space of time for drivers to basically get in, to make their mark, and make sure that they get out in clear air, because that's the important thing. You don't want to be stuck around other drivers. So just to confirm with last week's results, so Shabs, of course, number 1. So again, very well done for him. We'll be keeping an eye out for him as the night goes on. Mono finished second, to 18 points. And Puppy on third. I hadn't actually realised Puppy finished third, so very well done to him. Gavlard is missing out on the podium in 4th place. Puppy Junior 5th. Tristan 6th. Charlie in Japan 7th. Jake Lee 8th. Super Steve 9th. And Tirach getting the final points. So, what's that? Half the field getting points in the first race. Half of them to go. So, And in the constructors title, so Alpha are leading a point by Red Bull, and McLaren on 25 points. So it's AlphaTauri on 26, Red Bull on and McLaren on 25 apiece. So the constructors championship is wide open. We're only at round 2. We've got plenty of racing to go, and we're getting very, very close now to what is going to be the green flag of the session. So I am really looking forward to this one. If anyone, of course, watching Formula 1 this year, or last year I should say, forget when it's 2021 now, you would have seen a lot of Bahrain. It's particularly one of those tracks where it's all about how fast you can get out of the corners. Okay, so sector 1, we'll talk you through, obviously, when we get into the qualifying session, we'll take you through all the first drivers that come out around the lap, just to show you exactly what we mean. So the setup, really, you'd want your car. Of course, you want to have as much paddle, as much horsepower out of the car as possible, to be able to put down on the track and get the speed out of there. So if that was me, of course, with running fixed setups today, we haven't got the luxury of having to change them. But what you actually would really want to do is run it as low as you possibly can. You take the tag, unfortunately, in the middle sector, but sectors 1 and sector 3 are extremely fast. It's just that sector 2, where basically the cars are very, very slow. And of course, there is DRS zones everywhere here. What's that? 2, 3 DRS zones around Bahrain. So we are going to see a lot of passing manoeuvres tonight. Still waiting to see what we are when we're going green. Its time has gone to 8 o'clock. So normally 8 o'clock, this normally goes green. We hit the tick down timer, and then we are normally going racing. We can see some of the drivers there already going green, so they are happy, they're confident, and they are going to be getting ready for the Bahrain race. Now, picks for me for the qualifying session. So at the moment, you've got drivers on top of their form that weren't actually last year, the ones that struggled. These guys, so we've got Mr. Shabs in there. So he's the new guy on the block, basically. Could win, actually, last week for him. But then you've got the likes of Mono, you've got Gavlar, you've got Puppy Jr., you've got Tristan. These guys are really riding the wave at the moment. They're up there, they're basically outperforming themselves. Really doing extremely well. So we are going to see, of course, you can only one driver can put it on pole position today. So it's really going to be the battle, and realistically the psychological battle of who can put it on the front row first. There's only 2 spots, of course, in the first row, but who can get on that front row? That is going to be the key decision tonight. Now, interesting, Gavlar does actually admitted he does like to go out and run a medium tyre and then come back in again and run the softs, which I did question him about this on Wednesday. He said that this is what he likes to do, put some rubber down. Well, I'm sort of the kind of guy that wants to get out there and get out there fast to set a lap time down. And hopefully the systems are not playing up. Unfortunately, if you was watching the Wednesday night stream, unfortunately we did see quite a few issues with the servers, and unfortunately Codemasters are trying to fix things, but unfortunately a lot of these things seem unfixable. So we've got 15 drivers, so a bit of a shame there really. I was hoping for more out of that. We've got green flags in the pit lane. We'll try and keep it on track with, oh, they're all coming out. Everyone's coming out, and who is that? That's an AlphaTauri. Both Ferraris going out as well. So first driver out is Jake Lee, my teammate from Wednesday. So this is the turn 1, it's a hard braking zone there. Into 2, the switchback. The car goes unbalanced there, as you can see. It's where the Roman Grosjean had his issue up here on the right hand side. DRS completely wide open. It's a braking point here. You've got a very kind of twitchy section. So the car goes all over here. You can see, stay away from that curb. Touch that and don't touch the curb on the outside. Heavy braking zone, and this corner is all about momentum. You can see the car swaying there as he goes in. Braking zone's going to be just about there. That's not too bad actually. Slowest corner on the circuit. Then you've got another DRS zone opening up for the, well, it's actually a GP2 pit lane officially, as you can see now. Braking at the 100 metre board, actually 50 or 75 metres, I should say. to the one of the fastest sweeping corner. Now this corner coming up, it's so easy. If you touch the curb on the right hand side, you will flip the car around. Done that many times. This is a very difficult corner now to actually get right. It's a rhythm circuit here, it really is. And it's all about how you can get out of that last corner, affects your speed all the way down this main stretch, and you hit the braking zone of the last corner. That's basically where the Formula 1 track we saw right into the season comes into itself. DRS completely open again. And that is the lap for Jake Lee. So let's just see what he can put down. So pretty much the 12 drivers out there on the soft tyre on the right now. Just the 3 opting for the medium as things stand. So you can see this is a heavy DRS brake, a DRS hog, shall we say. So this circuit absolutely loves the DRS. It absolutely feeds off it, and you can see so easy, unfortunately, to make a mistake through here and have your lap deleted. As hopefully that doesn't happen for Jake Lee, who we're currently riding with. Okay. Right, let's just have a quick look through some of the other drivers out there. So these guys, most of these guys are going to be on warm-up laps. Then at night you can see Mono getting ready there. In fact, that's pretty much perfect in there. Now, watch Mono, he'll stay away from this curb on the right-hand side. It's so tempting, he just wants to drag you in that curb, but it's the curb you do not want to be touching. So these drivers now we're going to be seeing are coming towards the end of their first lap. And we're about to see some times go onto the board, and I believe Jake Lee will be the first driver to set a time as he just puts it on pole, a 1 minute 27.765, and Mono just instantly beats that with 1 minute 27.07 tenths quicker, so there's more pace to come out of the car. Stringy goes third fastest, Stream's popped up to second, Jake Lee down to third, Stringy in fourth. Well, it's so hard to keep up to that at the moment, so at the moment Mono's leading 1 minute 27.0. Who's that? Enza goes fifth fastest in the racing point. So this is Tristan we're looking at right now. His teammate is currently on provisional pole position. Can he join him on the front row of the grid? Gavlar goes P5. Currently in the Ferrari. Tristan goes up to P7. Super Steve is 8 on the medium tyre. Good lord. What have I been teaching this boy for the last few months about when to go out on certain tyres? Truax towards the end of his fast lap here. Really over-revving that car. Well, he's going to be lucky to have an engine or gearbox in the back of the car at the end of this one. Is Truax with him going on like that. So currently with 13.5 minutes left in the session, we're currently watching Truax as his first flying lap, as long as he hasn't had a penalty in it. Mono leads currently fastest lap with a 1 minute 27.022. That's just under 3 tenths faster than iStreams, and it's Willis in third, Jakey fourth, Gablar fifth, Enza in sixth, Tristan seventh, Super Steve 8, Truax ninth, Stringy we're currently riding with is in 10th. Still got 5 guys out there to set laps. Jack Blum, a former teammate of mine from Wednesday, looking to push the car. You can just see how nervous the Ferrari was going in there. It's quite a nice balanced car, you have to say, the Scuderia, and it's good enough for P4 currently. So it's Mono that still currently has the fastest lap. So all you get here is one flying lap on the set of tyres. Some of the other circuits out there, it's possible if you make a mistake to get 2 flying laps. Bahrain is definitely not one of those. So it's one hit wonder, quite literally, for Bahrain today. So you've got one chance to nail it. You have got 3 sets of tyres though. So if you want to get out there early and then come back in, you can do 3 sets. It is possible. We're watching Puppy, good result for him on last week. Hopefully he can get even better than that and get another step up on the podium. Puppy goes into a fast lap. So, thank you very much, Puppy, there. Nearly caught me out with that one. Crovey in the Haas car. Why isn't it let me go on board with Crovey? I really don't know. Very strange. And this is a glitch by the looks of things. I'm trying to move some of the cameras around, it's not letting me do it. Crovey, it's saying, has left the session. You can see Gavlar, he's currently put in a lap of P2. So what's that, just 0.2 of a second back on Mono. I told you it's going to be fun at the top, and it really is, running the number 97. I think he's running that for the rest of the week. I think he was running a lower number than that. Is that a different helmet for Gavlar as well, I've noticed. As the two Scuderias are coming back in, Crovey gets himself disqualified. That's a shame for him, so he will definitely start from the back of the grid 16. So we do have an extra driver joining us. It's Willis. Has joined us late. We'll watch him as he comes into sector 2. That's the curb you want to stay away from. Take some of that. Be careful not to disqualify your lap. Touch a bit of the curb there, and it just threw the car off balance. So for me personally, what you need to do here is Willis, he needs to run the diff down a little bit, because that will definitely help the balance of the car, shall we say, going into the corners. With just over 10 minutes to go, the guys have got another run at least. Well, in fact, you can actually make 2 runs realistically. Came out now. It's Willis is on an outlap. He's the fastest medium runner out there. Of course, the top 10 will be having to start the race from whatever tyres they set their fastest lap. It's Willis who wants to go for the mediums. This corner is so easy to make a mistake. Too much on the inside and you're going to be facing the wall, and too less and you're leaving too much time on the table. Lovely curbs there taken from It's Willis, very impressive. Managed to keep 2 tyres on the black stuff, so which is good. Where does he go? He goes to start his fast lap. That's exactly where It's Willis is going. Puppy Junior just put in an absolute clanger for provisional pole position at 1 minute 26.9. Well, it looks like he's enjoying himself on a Wednesday and a Friday as well. As Puppy Junior, this guy is going from leaps and bounds. You can see the Alfa Romeo didn't like the DRS board, so he's decided to remove it in the background. He's not interfering with Puppy's lap there. So it's Puppy Junior who heads the timesheets. Him, Mono, we're expecting, and Kavlar, we're expecting Tristan to make an appearance towards the front of the grid. He's been pretty good in qualifying this season. He's gone purple, it looks like, as well in sector 2. This is all about where you can make the time up. I was saying, watch out for Puppy Junior. He's right on it. And no matter what happens today, we should have a new lead at the top of the championship. And Tristan goes P3. So that forces 1 Alpha, as you can see Mono coming out. He's down to P2, he's not going to like that. So his Alphas on AlphaTauris, pardon me, 2nd and 3rd, Mono and Tristan. So actually the 4 guys I've named myself today, which I had a bet on it to see who was going to get pole position. Of course, these guys will get another go, as you can see Gavlar out. So mental note to myself that both Mono and Gavlar apparently have gone out on to track. Puppy's going to be smirking to himself, but he's got just over a 1/10 of a second to smirk for. Ice Streams can't improve currently. He is on the soft tyres. It's Willis, who is the fastest medium runner, is down to P8 at 1 minute 27.441. So what's that? 1 point, just over a second off of pole position. Puppy looks to improve there for his 1 minute 28.0. You've got the leaders, you've got Puppy Junior there in the 26s, the low 20, high 26s. Stringy yet to set a realistic lap is 1 minute 30.3, so he'll get some more pace out of that car, that's for sure. I'm watching Ice Streams coming out here, and we'll join on to Mono. And Super Steve goes 3rd. This boy has just shone a light, and we can see Mr. Shabs has decided to join us. Better late than never, but welcome to the show, Mr. Shabs. And Super Steve. This guy is on an absolute mission this season. Ended last year very, very highly. He's up there at the front again. His qualifying prowess is really outstanding this year. Of where he starts and where he finishes. As iStreams, we didn't follow it onto the end, that's a big shame. iStreams puts it on provisional pole position on minute 26.7. Mono is out. Super Steve is finished his lap. So this is a live lap from Mono. After this, we'll go on to Gavlar's lap just to get his on board. As we can see, Mono in the middle of sector 2. Slowest point on the curb. And it's all about patience when you put the power down for this it's GP2 pit lane. In fact, GP2 actually don't use it, but it's referred to as the GP2 racing pit lane. I think the Porsche Touring Cup do keep the cars there, though. That's the reason why there is a starting grid on there. Now, of course, very interesting line there from Mono, actually. He's got car ahead. Hopefully they're not going to interfere with his lap time. Keeping it far too much to the right there. It's a dirty nice break in there for Mono, taking a lot of the curve as well. He's not accelerating. I think he knows that he has messed that one up. So on to Gavlar, as promised. Gavlar trying to improve his one at 27.283. Company P6. DRS completely wide open in his Scuderia, and Gavlar goes and remains in 6th position. So big shame for him. He will have enough time to get in and out one more time for a set of tyres. Puppy Junior is not going to be happy. He's in the bubble right now. 1 minute 26.987. It was quick enough. It was good enough for provisional pole position a couple of minutes ago. Since then, iStreams has dispossessed him. What's that? A tenth and a half or so. So pretty much everyone now will get a one more go. And really it's going to have to be new tyres. As you can see, Jake Lee, they're trying to get out of the way of some of the other cars around him. It's Willis. Very nice curb control there from Mitch Willis. Very impressive. Mr. Shabs has not made his appearance yet. I think he'll be joining us for the race, but not qualifying session. So it looks like he'll be starting from the back. So Crovey disqualified from this session. We may even have a 17th rider on there. Can the Puppy Senior do anything about his P12 at the moment? He can get a free set of tyres. Free choice of set of tyres, I should be saying. It's a Mullin is coming P10. That's a new name. And it's Willis, which I believe goes to P2. So at the moment, it is Renault first and second. We're watching that lap from It's Willis, didn't it, to its conclusion. So at the moment, we've got iStreams and It's Willis on provisional pole, or provisional first row of the grid of 1 minute 26.757 from iStreams, which is good enough at the moment. You can see him coming out for one last go with 3 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. He's got It's Willis by just under a tenth of a second. Puppy Junior is currently sitting in P3 on row 2, as is Mono. Super Steve's 5th, Tristan 6th, T-Rex 7th, Gavlar 8th, Jack Blum 9th, and Jake Lee in 10th. It's Mullins 11th, Stringy's 12th, Puppy Senior, is 13th, Z Ender is 14th, Charlie in Japan 15th, and unfortunately Crovey got disqualified from the session. So he will take no further part. And Mr. Shabs has got one opportunity now. The current championship leader has got one opportunity to put a lap in, hopefully. So straight into the deep end, a bit like Nico Rosberg. But he has got one opportunity to make it work here. So you've got most of the front runners out there for a lap time. So expect the short Bahrain circuit to be much of a car park of the world's most expensive E-cars, or E-series cars I should say. Puppy Junior there discovering. Let's have a quick look and just see how he uses these curves. 100 metre ball's the braking point here, or 75 metres the braking point. Nice curve control. So it's a very flat circuit. You do want the car to rotate slightly. You can see Puppy Junior getting so close to that curb, but you don't want to be touching it. Take some of that curb on the inside. It will settle your car down for this back stretch. You can see go down the hill slightly. He goes back up the hill again, braking at the 100-metre board, and it's all about how much speed you can take out of that last corner and flash it down the straights for another DRS zone. It's DRS friendly here. He's run out of DRS, and Puppy Jr. retakes his provisional pole position at 1 minute 26.704. Well, that's a nice little improvement by him, a couple of tens up. It is good enough for provisional pole with 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. So we've still got ice streams. It's Willis. Jack Blum goes to P6, and I think that is going to be him for qualifying. So good so far from him. Super Steve's on a lap as well. Well, 26.7 is the gauntlet to be, and Puppy Jr. is showing exactly what he's made of this season. And of course, we're going to see Mr. Shabs going for it as well. So out of the frying pan into the fire for Mr. Shabs. As you can see, it's Willis really going for it one last time. He's on an out lap. The guys will get a chance to complete their lap, and it's going to be, can Puppy Jr. hold on to it? It was a beautiful lap. Ice Dream's going to be prime position. He's got improved by spot at 5,000ths of a second. So not even a tenth of a second, half a tenth he needs to improve to be able to move up one position. Lovely curb control again there. It's launching into the last corner. That gear selection wasn't perfect for Ice Streams. I don't think it's going to be enough. It'll be checker flag this time. He does retake visual pole position. Only 26.4 by 0.3 of a second. It's Willis is still on a lap. Fantastic lap from Ice Streams. It did seem like Super Steve goes to P4. It's Willis can't improve. Oh, pardon me. He's on his last lap. He comes to the last corner now. It's Willis. Mono is currently in P5, Puppy in 6, it's Willis, what can he do? Checker flag, can he do his teammate on the front row or take pole position? It's Willis, Carl is going to be locked into P3, so Ice Streams looks to have done it. Mono is not going to be able to finish that. Is he on a lap himself? I don't think he is. So Ice Streams currently is holding provisional pole position, 1 minute 26.4. Stunning lap from him. Gavlar goes up to P4. It pushes Steve down to P5. Big shame for him. Mono's towards the end of his lap. Mono's off it, so he's not going to do anything. Puppy goes to P7. We've got Tristan down there in Langston in P9. Chirac's 10th. It pushes Jake Lee down to 11th place, but really star of the day so far has to go to the Renault of Ice Streams. It looks like he has got his pole position that he wanted. Mono's had enough and decided he wants to walk back to the pit lane virtually. Ice Streams in the Renault will start from provisional pole position for the Bahrain Grand Prix coming up very shortly. Puppy Jr. will be sitting next to him on row 1. It's Willis will start from 3rd place. Gavlar managed to get up to 4th place. You've got the Super Stub. Stringy is currently in P5. And looks like he'll stay there as well. Tristan P6, so he's finished. Super Steve will start from 7th. Mono, even though his retired, will start from 8th. The Puppy Senior will start from 9th, and Jack Blum will be the last driver who has to start unless his tyres is set in P10. Well, that was quite exciting. We saw quite a few position changes as well. So confirmation of that. So Ice Streams is pole position by 0.2 of a second. Puppy Jr. starts on row 1. It's Willis and Gavlar will start 3rd and 4th on row 2. Well, you've got Stringy and Tristan on row 3. Row 4 is Super Steve and Mono. Well, row 5 is Puppy and Jack Blum. So that's your top 10. So what's that? The top 10 drivers separated by what's that? Just over half a second. So it just goes to show the level of driving skill. And unfortunately, in this lobby, and unfortunately, Mr. Shaz wasn't able to set a time. So he is going to be one to watch in the race. Of course, the previous winner having to start from the back, Mr. Shabs. So can Mr. Shabs make it 2 out of 2? I didn't think he actually was going to be able to make it. So that's why I did say it looks like we're going to have a different leader of the championship at the end of this round. We still may do. Who knows? Mr. Shabs is going to have to come back through the field. And right now, the drivers will be picking realistically what time they want to be, or what lap they want to be coming in. Like I said, the window very, very early from Bahrain. So realistically, for a 50% race, we're looking 5-6 laps into the race. or even under 10 laps. So the opportunity to be able to build a window to come in and pit and get back out again in clear air is going to be very low. So certain circuits with very low tyre deg, if you're making your one stop from say softs to mediums or softs to hards, you've normally got a good window, a good 15 laps to get out there, so to make your gap. So when you go out there, you've got as much room as possible. You haven't got the luxury round here. It's a 29 lap race, as we can see. iStreams sitting pretty on soft tyres, as he was the fastest guy in qualifying. You can see the drivers all running around there trying to warm the tyres up. And it is saying it's Willis will start from P2. He is, of course, abode by the soft tyres. You've got Gavlar third, Stringy in fourth, Tristan fifth, and Super C sixth. Mono down in P7. It's saying Puppy 8th, Jack Blum 9th, and Chirach down in 10th place. So these are the guys that are locked in. Well, it's actually saying potentially a stopping from lap 8. So I told you that window is going to be very, very short. So let's go on to the back of the field to see what tyres they're running. You've got Jake Lee deciding a brand new set of softs for him. It's Mullins gone for the medium, so while you've got Ender, Z-Ender on softs, Charlie in Japan on mediums, Mr. Shabs will start from 15th on hards. Now that's a very tough choice. Watch for him to come through the field later. Crovey will start from mediums, and Puppy Jr. on hot softs. Apologies there, had to cough, so that's the reason of muting the microphone. So these guys are coming back to the pits very, very slowly. Puppy Jr., well, what happened to him? And why is he so low down? Unless he had a penalty that we wasn't aware of, and that's been taken, or that's a glitch in the game, but that definitely isn't the correct positions that we were looking at from qualifying. And he's going through the retired cars. Looks like Mr. Shabs and Crovey have had their own personal debates, and Shabs has even got a lap in, yeah, unfortunately. So it looks like the first lap Mr. Shabs will get to defend his title is going to be on lap 1 of this race. As this is the view from iStreams. You've got it's Willis down there. Who's on the lead on the first lap? 4 lights, 5 lights, 5 lights. And the Bahrain Grand Prix is go now. Decent start there from iStreams. It's Willis, and you've got Gavlar coming from behind. You've got a very slow McLaren back there as well. It's Puppy Jr. by the looks of things. And it's iStreams that makes it into turn 1. You've got Tristan and Gavlar fighting there as well. Super Steve is already up there. You can see that Renault already losing places. Big shame for him. So it's Willis has gone from 2nd down to 5th place. And you can see Jake Lee involved in incidents there. He's gone down to P9. There's already a fight there. You can see cars going out. There's a Mercedes. It's Super Steve battling with it's Willis for P4 and P5. Yellow flag on track. It's Charlie in Japan that's gone off. So that's the reason why we're seeing him. So at the moment, winners and losers, iStream, fantastic start from him, and Super Steve manages to get back past. It's Willis for take P4, or Tristan for P4. Next up is going to be Gavlar for P3. Puppy Jr.'s day gets from fantastic to worse in an entire lap. He's 12, and he's got himself a penalty for having an issue there, so big shame for him. So iStreams really does need to get away. We're looking at Gavlar in P3. What's the yellow flag on the circuit for? Let's have a quick look around here. As you can see, Puppy trying to get back. He's got Puppy Jr. ahead, so really not a good start from Puppy Jr. unfortunately. And let's hope, and you can see a Ferrari off as well. It's Mr. Shabs. The championship leader is in the wars. Renault has been around today as iStreams completes the lap with Gavlar 2nd, iStreams 3rd. Stringy's made it up to, oh pardon me, that's a glitch in the game. That's not Stringy leading the race, big shame for him. I was about to say when did that happen, we didn't see that. So unfortunately, apologies for the glitch with the game. Just that will fix itself shortly. Let's go back to Ice Streams, who's currently leading this race. And that is a nice tidy gap. That's about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. He's got Big Macca joining. I didn't even see Big Macca's name on the list. So we have got pit crews out there as well. Who's that? Charlie in Japan. Well, he's in the pits right now. Is Charlie in Japan serving? It is like a 5-second penalty there for speeding under the pit lane. As we can see, green flags all the way round there. On lap 3, Watson Tirach back in there for a single point at the moment. Hopefully now, as Codemaster has still decided it wants to have Jake Lee as P1. That's not correct information, and we'll go back to Ice Stream just to have a quick look at the overall lead. It's fixed itself. Mr. Curb Control was talking to you about there. 1.4 seconds the gap between Ice Streams and Stringy. So DRS will be available at the end of next lap. So it's lap 3. Ice Streams has a fast lap of the race, and at the moment he is off from the start. As you can see, Gavlar there getting ever closer to Stringy in P2, and I tell you now the roles are reversed. Gavlar is going to see what it's like to get behind someone, and Mono's day goes from bad to worse. Gets himself a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners. Shame for Mono. He's out of ERS already. He's out of luck by the looks of things. When it will change for him, we really don't know. But at the moment, he missed out on pole position, and unfortunately he's missing out on points because he's coming down there in P15. So big shame for him. Mr. Shabs, championship leader, is currently in P12. He's made up from the back to P12. So good up for him. Of course, he's on the hard tyres. So the guys at the front, the top 8 drivers in back, have got the better compound tyre. But now we've got the DRS will open right now. We have a DRS change. You can see the Ferrari of Gavlar attacking. So it's the closest battles on the track now for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place. As Zienza decides to join the party right at the end there. Jack Blum's behind him in P7 in the Scuderia. Unfortunately, Mr. Shabs there losing out. But Crovey deciding that he wants to take as a wider line there. It's actually Puppy Jr. He was, pardon me, it was Crovey and Mr. Shabs. So Mr. Shabs has definitely got a move on. As far as things are concerned, and it's Willis's day. Well, his first lap wasn't fantastic for his standards, and unfortunately it looks like, because he got broken his wing, he hasn't. He does go across the pit lane board though, as Puppy will be certain to take advantage of that. So unfortunately he got in the, oh dear, there's contact there between It's Willis and Tirach. It was wheel-to-wheel contact, so it wasn't too bad. They could do it again. Oh, that was so close between those two. Very nearly an issue. DRS now, as you can see, Tirach will get. So he will be on the defensive. And you can see the curb control there from It's Willis trying to get back up to a recently position. And that's so bad again there. It's Willis and Tirach going wheel-to-wheel contact. We'll go back to that battle in a second so we can see Gavlar. This is Tristan's view. Gavlar ahead, Stringy in front of him. So DRS is going to be open. So Gavlar and Tristan both have the DRS. It's Stringy that ahead will not in the Williams because he's in P2. As you can see now, the gap is forming for Ice Streams. He's done everything right so far. He's getting on with his race. And it looks like a one-stop strategy, a baby on the cards for him tonight. So it's Ice Streams currently leading the race. We're looking for the battle for P2. As you can see, Jack Blum falling down places, and it always happens to Jack. Poor Jack. If this guy didn't have, or could only have one part of luck, he'd have bad luck, I'm afraid. So yellow flags for him. Charlie in Japan, he's got a new set of tyres on in Bahrain, so to speak. So hopefully he can come back to the order. 2.2 seconds is the gap now. Stringy, he's got Gavlar right behind him. Gavlar getting a taste of his own medicine, so to speak, from the whole of me trying to chase him. So on Wednesday he was being the mouse trying to be caught by the cat, and today he's taken the opposite position to there. So Jack's day gets bad to worse again. Mr. Shabs on his way up. Great move there. We just saw the outskirts of that getting past. It's Mullen for for a single solitary point currently, but Ismail's not going to be happy with him taking a point away from him so far. This is the battle for 10th place, and Mr. Shabs is going to be on the hard tyre. Championship leader Jack Blum goes down to P16. He's only got Charlie in Japan behind him. As expected, unfortunately, we have got drivers on or with penalties already. Looking back from last week, so the Ice Streams didn't get any points last week. So at the moment, potentially a crucial 25 points going towards his championship title. And well, we joined there Super Steve at probably the worst moment for him. Too much curve, and it nearly saw a Mercedes shaped car in the wall there as he goes down. It's all about managing your ERS here and trying to get DRS from the cars around you, as Gavlar has managed to get past Tristan there for P2. Let's have a quick look through there. So let's pit stop. That's the reason why. So Stringy is in on lap 6 for mediums. Now, is it going to be 2 stops for Stringy? That's the reason why. So it pushes everyone up there. Gavlar gets the opportunity, so I will try it straight away, saying of this. So does Stringy come out in clear air? It's going to be crucial to his race. It's make or break. It's not going to be that clear at all. Okay, he's got out in front of it. It's Merlin in 8th. But to make this 2-stop work, he's going to have to get past Mr. Shabs, Kroby, and Tirach are racing quite close proximity to each other. So now that's freed Gavlar. So Gavlar will be about a cork out of a bottle now. He will be racing after Ice Stream. So the gap is 2.7, 2.8 seconds. We're looking to see if that battle does come down. Exactly 2.7 seconds back there for Tristan in P3, who was looming very large on Gavlar and the battle for P2. So Stringy's taken himself out of the equation, falls down to P8, but he has made his pit stop. So the top 4 drivers, pardon me, on soft tyres. As you can see, Chirach is a P5. He's the first guy on the opposite strategy. You've got Mr. Shabs already making it up there to P6. He's going for the long haul. So realistically right now, if there is a safety car, it really goes towards Mr. Shabs, I should say. The longer this race goes on, better it is for him. Puppy Junior's day just gets from bad to worse. Another penalty for him, and it's so annoying there. Unfortunately, you do get yourself penalties. We're expecting Mr. Shabs to go straight through there. Goes up to P4. He has got the Williams and Stringy behind him. He's on medium tyres, and he does make a relatively simple pass there. So well done to Stringy for that. He'll get the option there of another DRS zone. You can see the Williams front wing opening up. So Stringy back up to P4 with medium. So now surely on lap 6, it's time for Ice Streams surely to come in. You can see Poppy Jr. is 10th. He's now deciding to go for a different strategy. He's going for the soft tyres, try making one more stop as well out of that. So it's Millen and Tristan battling there over bragging rights to P8. And of course, it's Millen hasn't stopped. In fact, it's Puppy Jr., pardon me, he's fighting with Puppy Jr. Didn't expect to be fighting around 8th and 9th position today from where he started. But unfortunately, just the way the crumble goes for you sometimes. Back to a nice party of him. It's Mullen there, attempting it on Puppy Jr. This is going to be slowing down Jr. He's not going to be happy about that at all. Having a racing point put straight in front of him. What's that curve? Oh, Jr., you don't want to be getting too close to those curves. A lot of they're giving each other some room there, these two. Of it's Mullen, and Junior's going to be screaming in that trash helmet. He's not going to be happy about that at all. As you can see, Chirach now takes provisional lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix as Ice Streams comes up. But where does he go out onto the track? Of course, Shabs doesn't get him. He was racing with Gavlar. So he comes out right behind Stringy. So Stringy's made up all that time on those 2 laps off the medium tyres. So very well done for him. Puppy Jr. and Itzman are still fighting there for 9th and 10th position. We'll go back to the battle relatively shortly. It looks like Puppy Jr. unfortunately has missed out on this occasion. It's Mullen is now getting after his teammate of Zienza down there in P8. Unfortunately, 8th, 9th and 10th have got themselves penalties. So Tirac does command the Bahrain Grand Prix for the time being. He started from... Well, actually, where did he start? I can't remember now, but he started basically from the medium, on the brand new medium tyres. He currently leads the race, but he hasn't made a pit stop. So if you're just joining us currently, Chirac is leading the Bahrain Grand Prix. The dry race, 7 laps in. We had a relatively extreme start. Unfortunately, it wasn't too good for Puppy Jr. He went all the way back down. He's got penalties to his name as well. He looks like he's got damage from the first lap. He's gone through alternative strategy now. Puppy Jr. He's put himself on soft tyres. So the overall race leader when Tirac does pit is going to be Tirac. This realistically will promote these guys up to first and second for Ice Streams and Stringy. Stringy did come in a little bit earlier though, as we all know. Gavlar really fighting there in fourth. He is about to have missed a very fast Mr. Shabs behind him, or looming up in his mirrors, as Crovey and Tristan battling there. This is all down to the DRS and the two puppies fighting there for bragging rights. Oh no, they're up, pardon me, because one of them came in the pits. There was a position change and it was just Junior deciding to come in for a new set of tyres. At the moment, Senior is leading Junior, so to speak. Super Steve there, looking at in ahead of us in P10, riding with It's Willis, trying to get the most out of what hasn't been a very good race day for him, and that's a bad way to start. It's Willis, well, I don't think he wanted part of that front wing. He decided he didn't want it. And Mr. Steve is trying to keep it on track at the moment. I don't think his hard tyres are liking Bahrain too much at all, as the gap for the lead comes down to 1.4 seconds. Of course, Durac hasn't pitted, but he still does lead the Bahrain Grand Prix on lap 9, using a lot of the curb there coming into the final corner. And we can see Ice Streams getting very, very loom in his mirrors. Ice Streams does the fastest lap of the race, so for the moment that will be a extra points for him in his championship. Locking the right front brake there as well. So the longer he sits behind the Ice Streams, unfortunately will get the part before he sits behind Tirac, will get Stringy all over the back of him, and unfortunately he's got himself a penalty. So big shame for him, and It's Millen and It's Willis decide it's time to come in. So it's quite literally, it's time to come in for Mullen and Willis. I should write this material down and make myself a millionaire. Unfortunately, it looks like Millen's been in the wars. His racing point needs a new front nose cone. So big shame for him, as does It's Willis. So it's both of them in the pit lane, and it's having issues. And oh dear, It's Willis, unfortunately, looks like has retired from the race, because he's not on track. The car seemed to disappear and glitch. Hopefully we'll see him come back shortly. Ice Streams has taken, again, the lead of the race from Chirac. We didn't see the passing move there, I'm afraid. He currently leads. Chirac second, yet to pit. Stringy is third. So Ice Streams will definitely have to go again. So it's confirmation of him going for a two-stop strategy. And there's no space there. Stinty and Puppy. How is that in the wars? It's a yellow flag in the last sector of the race. Unaware what the issue is. Let's just have a look and see if we can see anything on the multi-maps. No, can't see anything. Back to clean flag racing again anyway. So Ice Streams now rolling the dice. He is on a different strategy to the guys around him. As is Mr. Shabs, who started from the back on the hards. He still has to pit in this race, but you just think he's going to be trying to keep those hard tyres alive as long as possible, and there'll be an onslaught for him. Super Steve, unfortunately, falling back down the field now, outside the points. He's got a brand new set of tyres, but unfortunately 14th doesn't get you any points. It's the bus fare home from Bahrain, I'm afraid. So this is where Ice Streams does need to try and push and get away. started on soft tyres, he come in for soft tyres as well. Of course, you do have to use both compounds in this race, so 100% he will have to come in again for, I would expect, medium tyres, because how long can these softs last? So we saw them coming in from lap 6 onwards. Quoby gets himself a nasty penalty and a part of an advertising board there for iStreams. It won't cause any damage to the actual car itself. Just looks very strange from the onboard shot. We see drivers hitting things. So Chirac currently sitting free in P2 on his medium tyres, yet to stop. Stringy is very slowly stringing him back in. Hope you guys like the comedy effects going out there. So Stringy quite literally stringing in Chirac. He's actually getting a warning light about his gasoline, how much fuel he's got left in the car. So fuel is going to be minimal for the Williams. So expecting to be going into fuel saving mode relatively soon. Gavlar looking at P4. He will be trying to push through. As you can see, Jack Blum and Quoby really fighting there. Quoby, in fact, looks like he's come in for hard tyres. So he should be fine until the end of the race now. Christian in P5 getting past the Charlie in Japan. It's Willis does the fastest lap of the race on the soft tyre. So it just goes to show that basically his Alpha has got a lot of pace in the car. It means that it's a point taken away. You won't get a point for the fastest lap unless you finish in the top 10. He's currently 16th. So it will take a point away from his competitors though. That's the only good thing that'll happen. We're following Tristan there. He's having a relatively quiet race by his standards. He's got Gavlar ahead of him. I think Gavlar is slightly getting away from Tristan. He's got Mr. Shabs, who basically, well, at the start of this race, had to start from the back. You would need a bit of an option to have seen the front row of the grid. But he is getting back there, making his way back through the field. So, at the moment, at the end, or the start of lap 13, we've got iStreams currently leading the Bahrain Grand Prix, who has pitted. The gap for Chirac is now 5.5 seconds. He's going to have to push on those soft tyres. He's definitely going to have to come back in again. We've got Stringy in third place, stringing in Chirac, who has pitted. Gavlar currently looking in fourth, has got the best seat in the house of the opening battle ahead of him. Tristan is fifth. Lovely wide angle shot there of the Alpha. And Mr. Shabs in sixth place, making up for unfortunately missing qualifying. So crucial around circuits like this, but we've seen him come back through. Then we've got the Z-Ender in the racing point, and he very nearly pointed the car the wrong way. He's got Puppy for company behind him. Good to see Puppy there in the mix of getting some points, and unfortunately he won't be getting very many points doing that, taking the very wide exit there. He will retain the DRS as Jack Blum in the wars again. And it's Puppy Jr. unfortunately taking to the side of the track. It put yellow flags, and those tyres are going to be awful. And yeah, I think Junior's realised it his day. It's not going to happen for him today. And it's like dramatic changes in this race. Chirac now decides to pit. So it's going to be mediums for him. And I believe that he started on mediums. Oh, it's going to be hard until the end. So the one-stop race here, it looks like for Chirac. Where is he going to fall back to? So at the moment, for iStream, he's got the soft tyres on. But he has, and obviously Stringy has got himself a penalty as well, so a double bluff there, unfortunately for him. So Chirac gets himself out in clear air in P8, so he's fallen from second down to 8th place. That's 6 positions lost, but he should be okay to finish the race on these tyres. As Puppy there, good view there of Z-Ender for P6. Mr. Shabs. Not too shabby at all today, Mr. Shabs, P5. Very, very mature race or drive through the field. You have to say, a 3-second time penalty for Super Stee. Oh dear, Super Stee's day. Well, there's always next Wednesday, buddy. there's always next Wednesday. I think he's going to wish that Wednesday was every day of the week. He doesn't seem to have the luck of the draw on a Friday, so big shame for him. Gavlar, well, believe you me, I've seen enough of Gavlar this week to last a fortune sitting behind him for 3/4 of the race or Spanish Grand Prix on Wednesday night. He's currently sitting in P3, looking at Stringy off there in the distance. He is stringing in Stringy tiny bit by bit, and you have got Ice Streams ahead. He's about to have lap traffic, which shouldn't be a problem because I believe Ghosting is on in this lobbies. So shouldn't be a problem here for Ice Streams, but he just needs to focus and get away. So of course he's going to have to come in again for tyres. In fact, his teammate is racing with out there. So it just goes to show that Ice Streams is lapping drivers up to 16th place. As Jack Blum and Jake Lee fighting there. It's like Jake Lee in the pits. He is indeed more medium tyres for Jake Lee. And he's going to have to stop again. He will have to stop again there for Jake Lee, so hopefully he can come back to the action relatively soon. So 6 laps in to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's watch Ice Streams for a second. And apologies, some technical issues there. Hopefully we're going to get those issues sorted. So Ice Streams has pitted. We saw Ice Streams pit there for a set of medium tyres. So will he be able to last? It should be it. So that should be him finished till the end of the race. So currently Stringy takes back the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix with 16 laps gone. So can these guys make it to the end on those medium tyres? I really don't think so. So realistically, the first person, and also Mr. Shabs needs to pit as well from P4. So we're expecting Mr. Shabs relatively shortly there for P to come in. Excuse me for 1 second. Apologies for having more technical difficulties, so hopefully I've managed to fix it this time. So it's all about, can Ice Streams keep it together? So he had that chance on the soft tyres to maximise his position out there, and he knew of course he's going to have to come back in again. So he's at those tyres. Mr. Shabs is going to be the other guy to watch right now, because now with Mr. Shabs, he does not have to come back in. He has to stop one more time at least. He started on the hard tyres, and of course the rules are you do have to stop at least once for tyres. So expecting to see Mr. Shabs coming in relatively shortly for his one and only pit stop tonight, or his expected pit stop tonight. But a lot can happen in Bahrain, and I'm sure it probably will out there. We're watching Mr. Shabs, of course, currently in P4 on lap 17. It's Stringy who currently still leads. He has got a penalty to his name. His medium tyres have done, and it has done 10 laps. I really don't think he can muster until the end of lap 29 those tyres. Again, a few issues there for the Williams. Gavlar's in P2 trying to chase down Stringy, but the gap has been roughly about 2.4, 2.5 seconds, 2.6 last few laps. Tristan is in P3. Unfortunately, the distance is now extending to Gavlar. He has managed to keep away from Mr. Shabs though in P4. Fantastic recovery drive from him. Ice Streams is going to be all on the attack of Mr. Shabs on his brand new medium tyres, getting ready for everyone else to pit. Down there, and we can see Gavlar in. So now he decides to come in. That promotes Tristan up to P2. Ice Dreams does get through into third. Where's Gavlar going to come out? This will be his last pit stop. Started on the soft tyres, then coming to the mediums again for him. So Gavlar comes back out in 7th place. He's got it all to do. He's got Chirach ahead of him. He managed to stay away from him at the pit stop. So well done for him. Mr. Shabs finally comes in for his tyres. He goes down to, what's that, P9. So it just goes to show it got all the way back up the field. He's gone all the way down again. Unfortunately, Jake Lee gets himself a 3-second time penalty, which will not help his cause tonight. Big shame for him. Puppy Jr. is still trying to cover back through the field from having his own missions out there. He's currently looking at P10. He's not the fastest puppy out there today. He's looking at P5. So really exceeding what he's done. He's trying to, I think the podium last weekend has definitely fulfilled him. As you can see, Zienda making the most of what is P4 currently. Very good drive from him in what I've seen as a very, very clean race from Zienda. So this race, it all comes down to now. So Stringy's going to have to stop again. So is Tristan. The only guy really that can get away with not stopping again is Ice Streams. He's currently sitting in P3 in his Renault. Further back from him, so Gav does not have to stop again either, Gavlar. But unfortunately the gap to him is a bit too farther down. Zienda decides it's now time to come in for new tyres. So he's back in for fresh boots as the end for medium tyres. That should see him through to the end of the race. Puppy Jr. has been in the pits more than hot dinners I've had in 2021. So hopefully now with 10 laps to go, is his pain going to be over? 11 laps to go in fact. So he will fall all the way further down the field. It promotes Super Steve up to P12, Crovey up to 11th, and Zienda up, or has fallen back down, was 8th. It was down 10th. Because of that move. Charlie in Japan is looking right at the tail of the field. He has got It's Mullins. There's quite a bit of a way, unfortunately, away from It's Mullen. It's a big shame for him. And Stringy now and Tristan have both got penalties, which is not good at all by their standards. So it's horrible when you see races decided over penalties as Stringy decides right now is the time to come in. Mr. Shabs just got past Mono for P7, fighting back up through the field. So Stringy is likely to fall back down past those guys. So for the time being, Ice Streams takes the lead back. As you can see, Tristan in as well. It's soft tyres for him, so these guys are going to be rapid towards the end of the race. Soft tyres for Tristan. He will fall behind Gavlar, who takes advantage of that. So, yeah, 7th, 8th, I think he'll get out just in front of Mono. Will Tristan. He is indeed, you can see Mono coming down the pit lane. He does get out just in front of Mono, as predicted. So, 5th and 6th for the two Alpha Tauris. Tonight, we've got Mr. Shabs down there, keeping Mono honest for P7, and looks like he's going to be all over the back of him. And Mono just seems to let him go. Very strange there for Mono. He just seemed to back off there pretty much to let Mr. Shabs through into P6. It was surprising from him, he'd really put up more of a fight than that. Stringy really trying to go around the outside of Gavlar. Great drive from Stringy. Did pretty well in qualifying. He's been mixing it all race with Gavlar. Gavlar's getting his own medicine back from Wednesday. I was having to fight with Gavlar. I see a lot of the back of Gavlar in Wednesday night's race around Spain. And now I think String's about to do what I couldn't do to Gavlar on Wednesday and pass the Welshman. Well, he's tying him up for a pass. I managed to get within a couple of tenths of him. but it wasn't enough in Spain. Is it going to be enough here? It should be around the DRS capital of the world in Bahrain, side by side, and Mr. Stringy just shows me how it's done there and gets himself up to P2 in the Bahraini Grand Prix. Yellow flags there, set to 3. Can't see what that is. A good move though from Puppy on Zienda. There's going to be Jake Lee in the wars potentially, so big shame for him. He's managed to get going again. He's 14th, unfortunately. You don't get any points for being 14th in this league. So big shame for him. So it's Puppy taking home at the moment the last points of the race. Puppy Jr., as we say, takes the fastest lap of the race currently. So where's he at? He is outside the top 10. He's 13th. So big shame for him. It won't matter for the time being for championship points, but expect any of these soft runners or Stringy potentially to go for a run at the fastest lap of the race on his brand new softs. Jake Lee falling further down the field, so new front wing for the last 9 laps, or for the last 9 laps of the race, having to go hard. I think he's gone through his tyre complex, and that's the reason why. It's a big shame to see 2 of the Alfa Romeos in 16th and 17th respectively for the team. Turn 1, we're showing yellow flags. Can't see what's going on there too much. But it's Ice Streams that currently still leads the Bahrain Grand Prix in his Renault, as he's dominated pretty much the whole race here. He went for the alternative strategy. It's a slower car, that's the reason why there's yellow flags, but there's no incident out there. Stringy is P2, he's managed to get past Gavlar. So Ice Streams and Stringy running very different strategies today. So you saw Ice Streams making the most of that middle sector on the soft tyre. Stringy has got a 10-second gap, but he has got better tyres. But he's got, what, 7 laps to try and make a move on Ice Streams. Gavlar is on the medium compound tyre, so it's quite literally medium soft, medium hard, soft, medium. Try to say that 3 times in a row if you can for a tongue twister. Tirac on a completely different strategy as well in P4, so it's all about the strategies today. And realistically, there's very little, as you can see, between the strategies. At the moment, the driver who has done the best on his strategy, have to give it to Ice Streams for making that middle part of the race work with the soft compound tyre. 2 drivers have been laps of Jake Lee and Charlie in Japan, down there in 16th and 17th place. So Ice Stream's really getting on. We'll go through the order really quickly as we start lap 23. So laps 7 to go, or actually 6 to go, pardon me, as you can see, Papa Jr. making his way up to P12. The fastest lap's not going to matter until we can get into the top 10. So Ice Streams currently leading the Bahrain Grand Prix. Stringy down there or was catching him slowly but surely in P2 on the soft compound tyre. But obviously do remember he had got a penalty, so that's the reason why he's trying to stay away from Gavlar, who hasn't. So first and third do not have penalties in this race. And this race normally does come down to penalties to the side. It's fate. Jack Blum there, who's fighting again with Zienda. So it's Gavlar in third. Good race for him. And maybe some vengeance for myself, basically, after Wednesday night's race. But no, for all the puns intended, of course. Only joking out there, guys. Tristan in P4. So he's got Tirac right behind him for 4th and 5th. So he's running the soft right at the end, so he should be able to get away from Tirac there, who is really putting up a sizable defence. He has led the Bahrain Grand Prix in the middle part of this race, making the most basically of the tyres, make them last as long as possible. He seems to like these hard tyres. He needs to stay away from that curve though, Tirac. Mr. Shabs really fighting through the field. The first couple of laps I thought he was going to be making even more of an impact, of course winning in the first race in Australia. He started from the back, misqualifying. He's up to P6 and he should be fine towards the end of the race. Mono in P7, his tyres won't make it, or actually his tyres may make it for the next couple of laps, but that will put him, as he's letting people go, he's letting everyone go today. Well, it looks like Mono is giving out free gifts to everyone, so just giving more points to Zienda, and I think Jack Plum's about to get some more points off him as well. Mono making him trying to go around the outside there. He definitely is backing off there, Mono. Mono in again, so not a good day, unfortunately, for the American driver. He's seeing too much of pit road, and unfortunately it'll put him 9th or 10th, and it's Puppy who takes advantage. He goes up to P9. Puppy Jr. into the top 10. It puts Steve, in fact, up to 10th for Steve, making his move on Puppy Jr. Good move there from Super Steve, battling and trying to make the most out of this race. So Puppy Jr. and Steve, unfortunately, haven't had the best middle part of the race. It's still got C's pace that seemed to fade in the middle part, so big shame for him. And he's about to get Puppy fired. Puppy looking all which ways around Super Steve, who's defending there. And this is for 10th place, remember, guys. You'd think the way these two are carrying on, it's for the World Championship. It's not, it's for a single point. And just goes to show, unfortunately, Steve there makes the mistake. There's a corner cut there for Puppy Jr. He'd be wise to let Super Steve back again, who's defending Charm today. He's really going on the Charm offensive, is Super Steve, currently. So big well done to him. Nice battle there for 10th position between Puppy Jr. and Super Steve. I believe this is the closest battle actually on the circuit as things stands. Puppy Jr. still holding on to that fastest lap of the race. Not going to matter unless he can finish inside the top 10. So he does in fact get inside the top 10 through the magic of the DRS system. I don't think he'll be able to hold it though, because Super Steve has now got it. He wouldn't be able to close enough surely to Puppy Jr. to attempt to the pass, but we have got another DRS zone coming up as well. DRS City right now in Bahrain. We've got 4 to go. We're going to be going back to ice streams very shortly and just looking at this battle right now with lowering eyes. So Super Steve is definitely not going to be happy with this. And I did say this race, or a lot of the results will come down to the drivers who haven't got penalties. The ice streams and Gavlov P1 and P3 do not have penalties to their name, so it's going to prove me right again. So thank you very much, guys. So we'll talk through the rest of the field. So we talk way through from Puppy Jr., Super Steve, which is the battle we're watching right now. Mono, unfortunately, I think he's got the wrong month, Mono. Let's be Christmas, we give out gifts, not January, my friend. So we've got towards the 3rd week of January. Mono's still in the Christmas spirit, giving out gifts to everyone in the way of points. I think he's more frustrated than anything else, racing around there in P12 currently. He is got Crovey for company. He's going to be on he's on the soft tyres as well, relatively similar age tyres, you have to say, as Mono's. So it's the battles for 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th and 17th place. Unfortunately, it's Mother and Charlie in Japan actually, and Jack Lee unfortunately are a few laps down, so big shame for them. And I will say again, the curve control from iStream today has been absolutely fantastic. He really hasn't done anything wrong in this race, as he comes towards the end of lap 26. So ERS is at premium today for him. Puppy Jr. holding on to P10. He's got Puppy Senior ahead of him up the road, so the Puppies look like they're going to be finishing 9th and 10th unless we do have a dramatic change in the final laps of this race. So iStreams, have a look a bit further back there, you can see Stringy, the gap down to 7.4 seconds, but unfortunately it is going to be running out of laps before we can do that. So he does go and lap there. Is that Charlie in Japan or Jake Lee? He is lapping, I think it's Jake Lee in fact. He's lapping around Bahrain. Going on to Gavlar in 3rd. We've got yellow flags. We're going to see any issues. That would have been Zienda or Jack Blum. It looks like they're both all good to go now. And Puppy wants to do better than his P9. He wants P8. Good old fight with Jack Blum happening there. And you look at the tyres. So Puppy on the mediums against Jack Blum, who's on the hard tyre. Of course, Puppy will have the advantage of better compound, better grip, better tyres. But he is running out of laps. It's lap 27. We got the end of lap 27, lap 28 and lap 29 to go. But of course at DRS Heaven you have got opportunities everywhere to get past. Maybe not in sector 2, but sectors 1 and 3 of multiple DRS zones. Definitely about to see a DRS zone happening right now. So more yellow flags there in sector 3. Let's go back to Puppy to see if he can get past Jack Blum. I don't think he will here, because the straight will run out relatively fast. So mature drive there from Puppy. You've got Puppy Jr. behind him. He's going to run out of laps before he can get at him. What is going on in sector 3? So you can see there the amount of penalties. It looks like Puppy will now be able to get past Jack. I'd wait until the next lap, buddy. You get a far better DRS push if you wait for one more corner. And, well, there's a car off. It's an alpha off. That's the reason why. And the yellow flag means that Puppy really couldn't make a move there on Jack Blum because of the yellow flag. So the best thing to do for his point is going to be able to hold position there and go for it on the last lap, as iStreams is getting ever closer to what has been a fantastic race for him. Great qualifying session, put it on the front row, got away. His teammate made the mistakes. It's Willis, he's down there in P13. This guy, as Puppy Jr. is out of the race. Big shame for Puppy Jr. I can see him backwards on the circuit. We're not going to have a time for a safety car. Big shame as Tristan there gets a 3-second time penalty. Big shame for him. So Puppy Jr. will not get any points. The fastest lap of the race is up for grabs as well for a single point. It basically means that Mono will get promoted to P10. At the moment, Super Steve, all the running for Neil Poix. Unfortunately, as we join iStreams for what is the last lap of the race. He honestly got away so well. He's gone penalty free as well by the looks of things, as Puppy gets himself a penalty. I think he's just annoyed at Puppy Jr. being outside the race. Charlie in Japan is a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. And well, it all came down to iStreams on the day. He put it on pole position. Best lap out there. He was consistent in the qualifying session. Didn't leave it too late. Slowly but surely. In the race, he's come out there and he has just pushed from lap 1. He's controlled this race. And the middle sector, he had to do, he knew he had to push on those soft tyres. That's what's made the difference. They had a 10-second gap to Stringy in P2. It's come down to 5.6 seconds because now Stringy is on the better tyres, but he has run out of laps, run out of time. iStreams is 2 corners away from winning the Bahrain Grand Prix. The corner control I've been saying all night from this man has been absolutely fantastic. And realistically, 10 out of 10 or 25 out of 25 for iStreams that wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. He's running around like a headless chicken out there. He's so happy. Stringy will join him on the podium, and the fireworks for P2. Gavlar will come through watching the fireworks for P3. The short drive from him. Tristan will be happy with 4. Tirax will be extremely excited about P5. He has got a lot of penalties. And Mr. Shabs gets him on the line, unfortunately, for P5. But great drive from him, mature drive, I have to say, getting back through the field. We've got an Alpha deciding just wants to cut the track. He's got no front wing. It's the Ender will finish in 7th, and Puppy, well, he's not as good as last week, but Puppy will finish in P8. It's Jack Blum for 9th on the hards, and Mono will come round surely to get a very well-deserved point. It's Willis will be the first driver not to get any points. He started way up there. He'll be so disappointed with this. It just didn't work out for him from the first one. I hope he had a good time anyway. It's Cravey will be 12th. Super C 13th across the line and a lap down. Wow. And honestly, driver of the day, let's have a quick look what the computer said. It's saying Mr. Shabs. I kind of was going that way, but honestly, you have to give it to Ice Streams. He has pulled it out of the bag today as he marches on to the rostrum. Very, very mature drive from Ice Streams today. He did absolutely everything right in Bahrain, and that's the reason we're watching him on the first row, on the first step of the podium. So, fun as ever in Bahrain on Friday Night Racing, brought to you by RRC, Redline Racing Community. We love having you around. Thank you very, very much for joining us. We'll go back through the finishing format one last time, and I'll go through my drive, obviously my drive of the day, Ice Streams. He didn't do the fast lap of the race, but he does win the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's Stringy that finishes P2 despite having a penalty. There, he was catching towards the end, but this wasn't enough. Gavlar will start for finish third. It's Tristan misses out on a podium fourth. Mr. Shabs comes back through. So P5 started from the back. Fantastic race for him. It's Churat 6th. It's Zienda 7th. Puppy 8. Jackblum 9th. Mono 10th. Super Steam misses out in 11th because of the penalties. It's Willis does in fact finish 12th because of the extra penalties added. Crovey 13th. It's Jake Lee 14th. It's Mullin 15th. Puppy Junior 16th. Charlie in Japan 17th and last. So thank you very, very much for joining us. So we have got a new leader at the top of the Drivers' Championship in the way of Ice Streams, and that race really did everything. So we didn't see the crashes, thank God, which unfortunately we've seen at some of the other leagues around this week. We saw some fantastic driving in the middle of the track from everyone involved, and realistically the best driver won out on the day. So again, very, very well done to the top three and to my driver of the day, Ice Streams. So 2 races down, the hunt for China goes on. It's a Scrappy-Do signing out, but we absolutely love having you on board and watching and supporting RRC. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel here to get alerts about when we're going live. We've got live all the way throughout the week. We go 6 days a week. Next up, we've got Classics on Sunday, brought to you by Mono. Thank you very, very much to all the admins and commentators alike for making this streams making all the streams possible, so we can all go racing together. Until next week in China, it's again Scrappy-Do saying a very good night to you all, and thank you very much for watching.